just get into playing back and forth, and we start to see how the abecedario shows up. We also start to see how our sinawali starts to show up in the process too. So, all of this we've been doing, right? All this defend and return and follow up, all this kind of back and forth stuff we've been doing is it's great that it's all in patterns and drills. But the whole point of patterns and drills is just to help you in a controlled environment somewhat, or an adjustably controlled environment, like install skill, right? But it's also pattern work. And the number one rule of anything that's a pattern is eventually that pattern has to break. It has to break, right? If it's always pattern and it's always predictable, it means you never learn how to deal with the unpredictable. It means you rely on knowing what's coming in order to be good. Yes, no? So how do we get to that point? So we have a few drills that we do. There's a term we use called contra y contra, which means counter for counter, right? And all we're going to do is we're just going to counter for counter back and forth. And that's the only rule, other than like try not to hit each other's hands. But the only rule is we're going to go back and forth. So I can block any way I want. I can scissor block it. I can just tap it. I can tap it with the other hand. I can pass it by. It doesn't matter. As long as I defend when it's my turn to defend, and then I feed back. So it's that defend, return, defend, return, defend, return. Does that make sense? So when he attacks, I defend, then I return, right? Then I defend, then I return, then I defend, then I return, defend, return, defend, return, defend, return, defend, return, defend, return. And we just get into playing back and forth, and we start to see how the abecedario shows up. We also start to see how our sinawali starts to show up in the process too. We just start to play. You don't have to go that fast. You have to go that fast. But you just kind of see how it becomes the conversation, right? And elements in this, and maybe I'm single sticking. And then sometimes I'm like, let me use my double stick to try to find a little abecedario in here if I can, right? And then it might be like, well, if I leave, now my sinawali starts to make more sense to me. Does that make sense? But here's the thing, if I'm not looking at targets, if I'm just feeding angles, nothing happens. I have to be looking target. He looks at target, target, target. I look at the target, 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 target. And if we're not putting that idea of the targets together, then we never really get a fun, good flow, because we never really have anything to respond to. Nice. Does that make sense? You don't have to go that fast, but just stop and play. The best thing in your head is think attack, defend, attack, defend, attack, defend. Usually I tell people say it out loud. Attack, defend, unless you got a room full of people saying it and then nobody knows what they're supposed to be doing. So try to keep it in your head. Can we do that? Yes, sir. So as soon as it turns into, flow with me, I'll mess it up. Okay? As soon as it starts to turn into like, stop. I'll feed. Good. Get back and make it clear who's going first so you know who's starting with defense and who's starting with offense. Does that make sense? Can we try this?
Sir. Sir.
All right. Before we do this, Josh, can you come in and do double stick with Sam? Contra y contra. Break up those options. You'll notice when it starts to fall off, it's usually when you're feeding angles and not targets. If you're thinking about something different to do instead of thinking about something different to hit. Alright? This is a good flow. We're thinking about targets, we're exerting range, we're getting good body mechanics in here. There's a couple of misses, which means we're challenging each other. I like this. Time. That's really good. Hey Ben, let me get that bad boy from you. Oh, time. You guys understand? All right, can we do this? All right, let's put it together. Go.